Hi, my name is Dr. Alan Hyde, and I am here to share with you valuable pieces of information that will help you break cycles and patterns in your life that you maybe have found to be destructive, harmful, or hurtful. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about detachment and how to let things go. I was reading my daily readers today, and part of the message today was how do we let things go? And I'm always moved by messages that people share in recovery circles around turning our life over to the care of a higher power as we understand them. And so when I work with people in a therapeutic or clinical setting as a therapist, I always share with people that your spiritual journey is defined by you. You get to decide what your higher power looks like. You get to decide how to navigate and flow within that relationship. But one thing is, I think, important in the aspect as you develop your spiritual life is that the God of your understanding can't be you. Right? You have to get outside of yourself. You've got to learn to trust in things that are bigger than you. And that's a hard one, right? When we've been hurt in life or things haven't gone our way or we're trying to build our lives and we want to take some control over it. And there's this famous quote, and I've heard it many times, I've read it many times, but anything that I tried to hold on to and possess in my own hands, I lost. And anything that I placed in the care of God's hands, I still possess to this day. And I think it's really important that we remember that our path, our journey is taking us where hopefully our higher power wants us to be. I've found in my own recovery journey that God is leading me on a path, and I don't need to worry about what other people say about it. All I need to do is listen to my gut, the quiet nudges that God gives me to move in a certain direction. Now, if you guys are anything like me, I can get in my head really quickly about what pieces of this do I need to control? What do I need to do next? What's the next step? And if ever I'm following too far down that path of like, what do I need to do? And I start pressuring myself with like, this is what needs to happen and it's got to be good and I've got to do it perfectly. I've always lost out on opportunities when I do that. My recovery and my own mental health has shown me that if I take a moment, pause, and turn my life over to the care of God, get out of the way and let God be the silent partner where I'm actually the silent one in the process, better things happen. Good people come along, opportunities open up. This isn't magic. This isn't like I'm just completely taking myself out of the equation. I think an important thing to remember when we turn our will and our lives over to a power greater than ourselves, we're still going to get the silent nudge to follow an action, to follow a certain set of behaviors that we've been pulled to do, and it requires us to take that action. See, there's a push and pull, a tug, right, that moves us closer towards healthy behaviors. I'm giving over control of the things I can't control, but that requires me to understand the things that I do control. Okay, so you might be listening and saying, okay, well, that sounds like a bit of a bind. Okay, well, when we can define what it is that we have control over, we may find some more clarity. So let me clarify for you from a clinical perspective what we can control. I can control the way that I choose to feel about myself, right? This also kind of pertains to the way that I talk about myself, the way that I think about myself. A lot of people get themselves in trouble with a thinking problem. They start to think that they're not worthy or not valuable. I get to choose the way that I think about myself and the way that I value myself. I get to choose the way that I choose to behave based on those feelings, right? So if I'm not feeling the greatest about myself, I could go punch a hole in the wall, but it would be far better if I didn't. And I have control over that. And I may have some small control over like younger people who are dependent on me. Let's say I'm watching some kids, or I'm watching my partner's kids for some time. I have some control and some say in the way that those scenarios go for those kids. Anything outside of that realm, those three things I mentioned, how I choose to feel about myself, how I choose to behave based on my feelings, and small children, which is also kind of unmanageable, right? Small children, they have a lot of autonomy and we want to honor that as well. So there's less control there. But just to give some clarity, these are the three areas that we have some say, we have some control. Anything outside of that, anything whatsoever, is outside of our control. When I run into situations with my business or my therapy practice, I look at it and I say, well, how do I feel about myself in this decision that's being presented to me? What is my next indicated step? What should I do next here? And is there anybody in this environment who needs to be involved? From there, once I get other people involved, now we're in the realm of I don't have any control over this and it can become real unmanageable. So I need to turn it over. I need to let other people do what they do. This is in business, is called delegating. I never used to be very good at that. But once I started to implement these practices of if I can't control the next indicated step and someone else needs to do it and they need to use their skills, I'm going to turn that over to God and pray and hope that this person does what they say they're going to do. That doesn't mean that people will always do what they say they're going to do. But the beauty of this process, when you follow it all the way through, is that if they don't do what they say they're going to do, that doesn't have any reflection on me. It doesn't mean anything about me. I can turn that over as well. And when I do those things, and this is where it's so helpful, is when I do those things, the weight is lifted off my shoulder. The burdens are gone. It's not on me to do all things at all times. It's just my job to be me, to do me, and to love me. That's my job. And that's what I'm pretty sure my higher power and your higher power want for you. And so I would just share with you today, right? If you've stumbled across this video, if you like our content, you're following, you're subscribing, you're listening along, find your relationship with your higher power and turn these things that you can't control over to God. Things that you can't control are any other person, anything anybody else has to say about you, anybody else's skills or the ways that they choose to live their life. When you kind of look at it in that framework, you start to realize that there is a vast world out there that you don't have any control over. And when you take your hands out of that cookie jar, now the pressure's off. You're free to live your life. You're free to take care of your needs. And any therapist, any psychiatrist, any doctor anywhere will tell you that when you're looking to heal and get better, you need to focus on you. You need to put your needs first, and you need to take care of your individual problem. If we can all take accountability for those things, let other people off the hook, give them over to God, I think we'd have a healthier community at the end of the day where we're engaging. My hope is that you guys will find that. I wanted to share that with you here today. We hope that you tune in consistently, whether it be to our podcast, whether it be on our website for our blog and information, or just here on YouTube with these short videos. Don't miss out on any of this content. Don't miss out on this information. Maybe you stumbled across it and you're like, yes, I needed to hear this today. Or you stumbled across it and you think, no, this isn't for me. Then tune in for the next one. We're going to be sharing a lot of valuable information from a clinical perspective and how to implement these things in our life. What I would leave you with is this. If you have a situation that is hurtful, destructive, causing consequences and problems for you in your life today, turn that problem over to God, whether that be through prayer, sitting down with a journal and writing it and saying, God, I give this to you, or just finding a quiet moment, meditating and say, okay, I let go of this problem. If you do those things on a consistent basis, it is my belief through my own observation of 15 years working with people that you will feel better. For more information like this, hit the notifications down below, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any information from a licensed mental health professional. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Take care.